All right, so on the arm, starting with the upper posterior arm. So you're going to spread some lotion. General warm-up, Palmer. His arm is wide enough I can do alternating C-grip. This is a little bit like fulling. I could do fulling on his. Most people's arms are not thick enough to do fulling. If they're, notice I have his arm off the table. This is extremely important. If his arm was like this, and I was to do fulling, I'd be pressing on blood vessels and nerves. When I rotate it this direction, the tricep is here, the tricep's facing this direction. I can work there, but it's not very biomechanically advantageous. When I bring the arm off the table, I rotate his arm, now the tricep's facing me, and I can apply gravity. MBLEX question. What is the ideal directional force massage therapy? Downwards and forwards. We move forwards while applying pressure down. Okay. Typically then, I can do some sort of a gliding, soft fist. As I get to the back of the shoulder, I want to be careful about applying excess pressure to the back of the shoulder. I don't want to forward dislocate the shoulder. I've never heard that actually happening, but there is a biomechanical threat. So I'll apply maximum force through the tricep, but then lighten up in Swedish through the shoulder. Okay? If you can take more pressure, Ryan. Mm-hmm. So I'm still nowhere near my max pressure, but I can apply more and more pressure. But again, once I get to the top, I lighten up, let it Swedish out, reset. I can come in deeper. Notice his arm is coming up. That's because that's what tricep does. Tricep extends the arm. I'm engaging the muscle hard enough to actually extend his arm.
I have a question.
Is it about what kinesiotherapy is? Go ahead.
Okay, so because of everything being here, do you have to be careful where you start with the pressure on the other side of the arm because of you applying pressure?
I'm being aware. I'm
Okay.
making sure this is close up to his elbow as possible.
Okay.
If he was wider through the chest, I wouldn't want this edge of the table to be mid-bicep. That wouldn't be comfortable.
Okay.
I want as much arm on the table as possible with the forearm off. Now, if you have a person whose
Okay.
chest is so wide that they can't really keep their arms on the table, I might really have to hold it here. Notice I'm keeping this fist here. It's like a mini bolster to keep it in position.
Okay, to stabilize it.
Okay, all right. Vibration, and I just grip the whole muscle, shake it as I glide down, is great for relaxing, especially right after really deep strokes where the muscles might start to tense protectively, shaking it out to draw their attention and relax it. And then you can go in again for deeper pressure if you need. If you don't like to use that, you could use something like a Russian knuckles. Notice I'm not gliding. This is Russian knuckle stripping. The thumb is just a guide. It's just to maintain distance. There's not doing any pressure there. Okay. For the insertion of this muscle, I can see the tip of the elbow, and I'm just kind of right above that, proximal to that, and doing some stripping towards the shoulder. See his forearms moving because I'm engaging the tendon that actually does that action. For kinesiotherapy, level 1, and the other levels you just add motion. Straighten the arm, pin down the muscle, bend the arm. Of course, I can do that with increasing pressure. I could also do that with cross fiber, but it's just a pumping motion.
Like the other way, but
Yeah, like when bicep, we were straightening the arm. Right now, we are bending, flexing the arm. Okay. We do have multiple fibers going through here, so using whatever plowing tool you like. I tend to use the W thumbs because they're just right out in front of me, and I can guide with the fingers while I strip with the thumbs. But because they're back to back, they won't collapse. It's going to strip multiple lines out the back of the tricep.
are you just going basically straight up? Like,
Yep, I just went along the lateral edge of the muscle, right through the middle of the muscle, and then along the medial edge of the muscle. Now on this medial edge, it does cross the back of the shoulder to go to the infraspinous fossa. So I want to make sure I'm going to put my thumb on the edge of the muscle, follow it along the edge of the muscle right to the edge of the scapula. For most people, that's going to be a tender point. Tender on you, Ryan?
Yes.
So I'm just compressing. He's breathing through it, which is good. If they can take more, you can just do a little plus minus work. I'm not moving my thumb, I'm moving my whole hand. So this is, I saw several people last quarter during the final doing a lot of like deep, I can't even make myself do it wrong. Imagine I'm pressing really deep and then moving their thumbs. No, if you're going to be going deep, you move your whole hand as one solid piece. You don't move your thumb, you move your arm. That way the thumb stays stacked and protected. Okay. Okay. All right, that's great. Oh, for the end of this, there are some techniques. We'll incorporate more next week, but some of your arm techniques, and I'm actually going to wait for those next week for forearm. So we're good there. We're going to go ahead and tent and roll. So you'd be a bad client.
I'm a bad player. Did I roll the wrong way?
No, you just didn't even wait for me to get
Oh, my
prepared.
bad. Sorry.
He's like, I'm about to roll you. Whoa.
I'm gonna go ahead and roll.
Thank goodness I moved when I did.
All right. Okay, we're gonna have a lot more to work with on this side. More muscles and more attachment points. Even Anconius, which is does the same job as triceps. That makes it it's synergist, and it's the small one, so it's the intrinsic because it's small and close to the joint. But it's still more easily accessible here than it is when they're face down. You can do it face down, but it's more accessible here. So even when I'm doing Swedish, I will still just glide and move, doing a little kinesiotherapy there. I'm cupping my hand, so I'm using the pinky side of my palm like a blade, and I can increase pressure as I lengthen.
I was doing that a lot this weekend.
I liked it.
I can do it back and
I
forth.
think they really liked it.
Level 2.
And I added the moving the arm thing and never added it.
I was doing it on vinyl.
Okay, so I'm coming up, finding the bicipital groove. To do that, remember we want the hand up in the air, rotates the groove to the right spot. If their hand's down by their side, it rotates into the chest where we can't really get it. Stick their arm up, it's straight in the middle right here. We found it last time for like the pec major and stuff. We can sink in, work it the same way we did with the chest. Apply compression, apply friction here. What kind of friction would this be? For the pec major, it would be cross fiber because the fibers go this way. Bicep goes this way, so this is fiber friction for that. When I do cross fiber, I just move the arm. Now that tendon goes up and under the acromion to attach the supraglenoid tubercle. We can't get to that. If you were doing your muscles earlier, you probably noticed that was a tiny little space. Can't get a finger up inside there. So the best we can get is the bicipital groove on that. The other attachment goes up through the shoulder to the coracoid process. It goes underneath this big thick pec though. We can't really follow it through that way. So we got to go for the coracoid attachment, which we already learned how to do. I find where the clavicle, I'm under the clavicle where it meets the humerus. You should be able to touch bone and bone. There's a tiny gap. Some of you can actually just look and see that little tiny gap there. Raise the arm up to release the pec major. Allows us to sink in. And then I'm going to do plus, minus. When I go this way, it's fiber for the pecs, and this way is cross fiber for the pecs. When I go this way for the bicep, it's cross fiber, and this way is fiber for the bicep. So by doing plus minus on this coracoid back from the chest, you're working 3 muscles at once. It was pec minor, biceps, and this is the easy one, coracobrachialis. So by this one attachment here, we're getting 3 muscles for the price of 1. Okay. Follow the muscle down, and I can feel the tendon. cross over. Remember, when we palpated that attachment, if you need help, you can have your client do a little bit of a curl, have them pull against you, then follow the tendon down really easily to where it disappears at the bone. Look out. And now you're on the radial tuberosity. So it's right there. It looks like it's right in the center of the forearm, but that's where the radius is. So I can compress. I can do a little bit of friction upwards, which would be fiber friction. For cross fiber, I just supinate, pronate. You can see the actual bicep moving right there, and see that right up there? My finger, index finger is. See, every time I rotate, it looks like that spot's moving. Stupid human tricks. Okay, I know I've shown you soft fist kinesiotherapy for this guy. So anybody who draws bicep for the clusters can be like, I know this one. Russian. C-grip. All right. The big thing on bicep, not a lot of new, it's like just Swedish but deeper. The biggest thing is focusing on getting those attachment points, especially this one. This is the one that's new. We've done this before and we've done this before, but not this. Okay? Brachialis. Brachialis is deep to bicep. It comes up and it attaches to the deltoid tuberosity. Now in Ryan here, we're blessed to be able to see where his deltoid ends. And you kind of see that there's a bulge, and then this is the bulge of the tricep, and there's a gap between. That's right where the deltoid tuberosity is going to be. A lot of clients, you can't see that. You just have to press in near the acromion, feel soft as muscle, glide down between bicep and tricep till you feel bone, and that's the tuberosity. Feel it on yourself. Bone, glide down, 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 bone. That's the attachment.
So do we have him touching the blanket because it's his blanket? No, I'm just-
No. It's because he rolled over early and just threw his arms out. So remember when we did deltoid? I'd be in that little bony landmark and I'd be stripping superiorly for deltoid attachment. Now I'm just going to rotate, stripping inferiorly for brachialis. On the inferior attachment, I had him palm up, do a curl to feel the tendon. Now I want to turn back of the hand up, whatever that is, and have him try to, like he's trying to rub something, you know, when your hands are dirty, try to rub something off the back of your nose. Let's do a little curl for us. And it's right there. Thank you.
And this is for brachialis, right?
This is brachialis, yeah. This one comes down right there. Friction, friction, friction. If I want to do cross friction, I have to do it by moving my thumb or rather my hand, because no amount of rotating is going to cross fiber that, because it attaches to the ulna, not the radius. Not the, radius. Because the radius rotates, but the ulna does not. So if I want to do fiber, I got to go fiber. If I want to cross fiber, I got to move my hand, not his. Okay, for the belly of this guy, because he's under bicep, we got to move the bicep aside. So for this, bicep's right here. I can literally just lift it up and move it side to side. I'm gonna push it in, press into the bone. See how bicep's like bulging out in front of me? And I can just compress and strip straight up behind it. I'm on the belly of the muscle.
Ryan, how's that feel?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna get the muscle
Is that a
here.
good or
Now remember, right in the center, right between bicep and tricep are all those blood vessels and nerves. We don't want to go that far back. I want to just feel this is bicep, move them to the side, and press into the front of the bone. I'm not on the medial side of the bone, danger area. I'm on the front of the bone, but bicep is moved. Work it the same way. And we're getting the belly from both sides. All right. Whew. A little shaky, shaky to relax the arm. Good. All right, coracobrachialis. We already worked the coracoid process. We don't work the belly of that muscle because of where it's at. The blood vessels and nerves run right across the belly, and if we can't work that muscle effectively without causing other problems. But we can work the other attachment, which is to the, so see how long the humerus is? It attaches in the middle on the back. So here's tricep hanging loose. We're just going to push tricep out of the way. Notice I'm not in the middle where the bone is. Blood vessels, nerves, danger, danger. right here in the back where the tricep is. Push it out of the way, and I just put my hand on the table and set his arm on top of it. And I can compress and friction right on the back of the humerus. But because I push the tricep aside, I'm on the bone where the coracobrachius attaches, not on the tricep itself.
Could you do that prone too?
Yeah, it
Because
doesn't
you were doing
shift
like
aside quite as
this,
well.
like
I am.
this.
When I do this, I'm typically down. So I'm just saying it on there, just like this. It's just like saying on the table with my fingers up. See, now it's helping. What that one? You like that one?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. All right, last up, Anconius. For this guy, he's not visible or palpable for most people, so you got to just know where your bony landmarks. Point of the elbow, the olecranon process. Ulna blade right here, just down about 1.5 to 2 inches. Lateral epicondyle, the bone sticking out on the outside. If you know those 3 landmarks, he fills in that triangle. You can just cup and curl, strip that muscle. Just make sure you're gliding over and not going into the groove right beside the olecranon, right beside the point. There's a groove. We don't go into that groove. That's where the nerves are. That's for Anconius. See, it's just one motion. Okay. Again, he doesn't attach to the radius, so rotating does nothing. Just want to create the motion ourselves. All right. We did tricep. We did Anconius, biceps brachialis, coracobrachialis. Any questions? I'm still sweating from making the laundry out. I think on the video it makes it look like I'm looking hard, but it's just been humid since it started raining again.